Hello, everyone, and good evening, and welcome to Animal Advocates Radio Voices Carry for Animals number 496 shows this evening and counting. And we're going to have another great show. And just a big shout out to all you listeners out there that's listening from Podbean Podcast Web. Welcome aboard. I hope these shows are encouraging and inspiring to help you to take action out there for all the animals in need and distress, because we're counting on you. And if you want to join us in the chat room here on the Podbean podcast app and player, all you have to do is install free, either from Google Play or Apple Store, and follow Voices Carry for Animals podcast in your end. And you can enter this awesome live chat room that we all come to every week. The shows is every Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Mountain, and 4 o'clock Pacific. Listening worldwide, everyone. We're making voices heard on this platform and love it, and getting the animals as much help and changes for better lives and futures as possible. But it takes all of us to do that. I just want to go over a couple more things. My name is Debbie Dahmer, aka Mama Bear, and I am the producer and host for Animal Advocates Radio Voices Carry for Animals podcast, coming live to you from live stream, and we're coming live from the Podbean podcast app. And it is awesome. So if you want to join us, just follow, on that app, and then you're in this chat room. You can even speak to the guest. And if you're on the web listening in, just you would follow me, please, on there, and then please spread the word. And a big welcome to all of you in the chat room, and who's coming in and will be coming in. And all these shows are archived, so you can listen and share 24/7. And keep spreading the word, because the more voices out there and action takers, the better. And we want to always, keep that, never give up hope. We have to be relentless, optimistic, and never give up. Okay. And so if you want, in the chat room right now, all of you, that whoever wants to join in from the web, you're more than welcome. But just a couple of simple steps you've got to take, okay? And after the show I'm sorry, downloaded and edited and then published, you will all the followers will get a notification on their phones or laptop, iPads, tablets, that the show has been published, in case you ever miss it. And there's other ways you come in if you want to listen by your laptop, or your iPad, tablet, you have to download it, the app from on there also, and use the same email address as you would as on the web. Okay, so and if you want to visit my Voices Carry for Animals .com, and you can subscribe free, and please spread the word. You can share the post, and after the show is published, you can listen to this show from right from the my website, and also there's a podcast player which will a link you can press, and the last five shows are on there. You can shine, like I said, shine or share from the bottom of the articles, and also all these shows you can listen to 24/7, okay, on pod or voices carry for animals.podbean.com, and follow me please on there. They're all located. The shows from when I did from June of 2014 up to March of 2018 are on another network, which is podchaser.com, when I was on Marty Oakley as a host for her, and sadly she passed away April 1st of 2023. She was a great team player, a great teacher, a great voice out there, and I was also her co-host for Elder Abuse, over 75 shows back in June of 2014 up to 2016. So hello Darla, hello Mama Cat, hello Keith is entering and the thing, and but you can share this show right from this chat room, everyone. So help me out, get the stats up, and keep pressing them likes and sharing the show from there, and we'll keep building up because I've been on here 6 months. Yeah, already on Podbean. I love it, and this thing rocks. It's modern technology at its best, and we're going to keep going. We're not going to give up. And four more, or with my number 500 shows coming up soon, and several weeks away. And it's just time flies, and I'm not going to give up. So I hope all of you, get inspired by these shows. Keep spreading the word. They're also, after being published, they'll be on YouTube. My Voices Carry for Animals podcast channel, and also my Animal Advocates Radio podcast channel on YouTube. And be a subscriber, because hey, the more of us that get together and get the word out and take that action, that's what matters, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and my like I said, I am Mama Bear, and Mama Bear loves being on the air because she really does care. Okay, so share, share, share for the Mama Bear, and I'm going to welcome my guest. He's welcome, always welcome back, and he is Keith Dane. He's a consultant for equine protection for the Humane World for Animals, formerly called the Humane Society of the United States. And our topic tonight is going to be update on the fight to end horse soring. And for I'll have him explain what horse soring is and what the status is now. He's not giving up. He's relentless. It's the PAST Act, and it's in a federal law which it needs to get passed for more, because I know with 2023 and 2024 there was 248 co-sponsors, and that's a lot of co-sponsors to co-sponsor a bill. But anyway, I'm going to bring him on air, and Keith, if you would go to the bottom of the screen on the right hand, lower right hand, it's either a phone icon or a mic icon, and press that to alert me you want to come on air. And all right, here we go. And you are live and on the air. How are you, Keith? Welcome back. This is great. Can you hear me? Hold on a second. You might have to do it again. I don't know why this thing goes so fast. Okay. Um,
How's that? Can you hear me now?
okay. Yeah. There you are. How are you, Keith?
I'm doing great. How are you,
Hey,
Daniel?
this is wonderful. I mean, this is wonderful, and to have you back on air, it's such a greeting. I mean, it's such a honor to have you on. all the hard work you're doing, and you're relentless and you're not giving up. But go ahead and refresh the audience of, what the horse soaring is and where it's at.
Sure, great. Well, thanks so much for having me on, Debbie. It's always great to come back on your show and update folks on where things stand about this very, very important animal issue known as horse soaring. I know that some of your listeners are probably familiar with it, but just for those who haven't been updated, this is a problem that goes back over a half century, and it's particularly practiced in three horse breeds: Tennessee walking horses, racking horses, and spotted saddle horses. And what this is intentional cruelty, intentional pain inflicted on the lower legs of these horses just to get them to step high in the show ring. And this is the gait that this produces, is what is being rewarded in the show ring and has been for several decades. There is a federal law called the Horse Protection Act that was intended to end it, but it has not been successful in doing so. So what these people do is there's a variety of ways of soaring, what we call soaring of the horses. The most common is to put chemicals like caustic chemicals like diesel fuel, mustard oil, kerosene around the pastern, or what you would consider the ankle of the horse's legs. And then they wrap that with plastic wrap, which cooks those chemicals into the horse's flesh, causing great pain, causes heat and great pain. Then they ride these horses with heavy chains around their pasterns, their ankles, in the training barn to cause even more pain and to get them to step high. And that chain is there to remind them to step high when they're being ridden. They also have been putting what we call stacks, large platform shoes. They can be anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5 inches tall, of pads that have been nailed together and then nailed to the hoof of the horse. This causes them to stand at an unnatural angle, which makes them shift their weight to the hind limbs, the back end of the horse. But it also raises them up several inches, so it gets them to step even higher. Then they will often put hard objects between the hoof, the bottom surface of the hoof, which has a lot of nerves in it and is sensitive. Hard objects between that and that stack that's nailed on. So things like golf balls or tacks or nails or anything that will cause pain. This, in combination with the pain in the ankles or the pasterns, is what we call soaring, and it's done to create this lick, this gait called the big lick, that is prized in show rings. These are all legal in the show ring, the stacks and the chains, not the chemicals, but the stacks and the chains. But we know that those are part of the soaring practice, because if you didn't have those tools, those devices available to you, you wouldn't be able to create this big lick, which is used in combination with the soaring chemicals. So there has been a law on the books for over a half century called the Horse Protection Act. As I said, it has loopholes that have prevented it from being effective at ending soaring. And so I and many advocates in the horse protection world have been working for literally decades to try to get those loopholes closed, either by amending the Horse Protection Act to change the things that are missing, close the loopholes that have caused this to allow this to be continued, or through USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture regulations. Now, that is the federal agency that is charged with enforcing the act, but they have not been successful because of these loopholes. So you mentioned the PAST Act, and we will get to that for sure before the evening is over. But back in 2024, USDA proposed and finalized a rule, a change to its regulations that would go a long way toward ending soaring. It would ban those stacks and chains for use in the show ring, and it would end the failed system of industry self-policing. Now, back in the 1970s, Congress told USDA to implement a system whereby show managers could relieve themselves of liability for allowing a horse that was sore to be shown. The Horse Protection Act forbids shows from allowing these horses to be shown, but there really was no mechanism for doing that. USDA, in its infinite wisdom, implemented a system where it would allow the industry to self-police, to set up its own inspection programs, partly because USDA just didn't have the money to get to all of these shows. At the time, there were probably over 500 shows around the country. Um, and unfortunately, although USDA oversees those horse protection programs, those industry programs, um, those programs are filled with inspectors who have lots of conflicts of interest. They either own or show or train Tennessee walking or racking or spotted saddle horses, and therefore have conflicts. They're buddies with the people that whose horses they're inspecting. And so consequently, it's been proven that this industry system has failed and that the violation rate goes much higher when USDA is present and doing the inspections alongside the industry folks than when USDA is not there at all. So the rule that USDA finalized was going to get rid of that system and put in place a system of licensed veterinarians who would be answerable directly to USDA, trained and licensed by USDA and overseen by USDA. And that rule was also going to update what's known as the SCAR rule, which is a regulation that prohibits scars that are indicative of soring from being present on a horse when it's being shown. And if they have those scars, they're prohibited from showing. So in 2024, this rule was finalized. It was going to go into effect in February of this year. And we thought, great, we finally have made so much progress and we're so close to bringing this all to an end. Unfortunately, the largest horse show organization in the walking horse industry filed a legal challenge in a U.S. district court in Texas. And the judge in that case ruled back in January of this year, just before the rule was supposed to go in effect in February. He ruled that important parts of that rule, especially the ban on the stacks and the chains on the horses in the show ring, exceeded USDA's authority under the Horse Protection Act. In other words, he said that the USDA did not have that authority. USDA did not appeal that decision to a higher court, so the ban on stacks and chains will not go into effect at this point, which was a major blow. A portion of the rule that did remain intact, that the judge ruled was within the USDA's authority, was getting rid of the industry self-policing system and putting in its place the horse protection inspectors that were overseen by USDA. Although that was scheduled to take effect in February, under the new Trump administration, USDA has postponed the implementation of that portion of the rule until February of next year. And they also have asked for public comment on whether the rule should be postponed even further beyond next year. The agency has not yet shared what it plans to do in response to the comments that it did receive, but Humane World for Animals and many other groups did submit comments saying, don't delay this implementation any further. In fact, you should have implemented it already. So we're waiting to see what USDA is going to do about that. Meanwhile, the Tennessee Walking Horse Celebration Association, which is the overarching group that runs the celebration and several other horse shows, walking horse shows, again sued USDA under that same judge in Texas, the same court, and asked for a preliminary injunction, which is a temporary stoppage against USDA enforcement of three rules that are currently in the regulations and have been for decades. The first of these rules is the SCAR rule, which I mentioned earlier, which says that horses that exhibit any skin conditions on their pastern that are indicative of soring are in violation of the Horse Protection Act and may not be shown. These changes include significant hair loss, swelling, bleeding, and other skin changes that are really only found on sored horses. You don't see these changes on any other breed or any other discipline of horse. The second rule that was challenged is what is known as the no showback rule. That means that if a horse is found in violation of the Horse Protection Act at a show, it cannot be presented again for inspection at that show or shown at that show. By preventing USDA enforcing this rule, a horse could be found in violation today and another day or two come back and be re-inspected. And if the horse is not found sore that day, it would be allowed to show. But the whole concept behind this no showback rule is that if a horse is sore at a show, it's been sored, it's illegal, and it should not be allowed to show again at that show. The third rule, which was challenged, is one where USDA will notify show management if it finds that a horse is not compliant with the Horse Protection Act, and then show management is supposed to prohibit that horse from competing. The plaintiffs in this case, the celebration and two other named individuals, complain that not allowing the horse to be shown if it's found in violation denies the exhibitors due process, since they cannot have a hearing before they're deprived of the right to show horses. However, the Horse Protection Act clearly states that no horse that is sore may be shown in competition. So these plaintiffs' argument seems to be really inconsistent with the mandate of the Horse Protection Act. Unfortunately, the judge granted the plaintiffs their preliminary injunction on all three of these rules, thus restricting USDA's ability to enforce the Horse Protection Act effectively and to prevent sore horses from being shown. This is not a final ruling. However, the judge indicated in his granting of the injunction that the plaintiffs were likely to succeed on the merits of their case. He did apply this injunction only to the celebration and the two named individual plaintiffs. However, USDA came out with language saying that they were opting to apply these restrictions to all shows. And this happened just last month, right before the big annual Tennessee Walking Horse National Celebration. So I attended that show for the last 3 nights of the show, and I observed USDA agents there merely overseeing or observing the inspections of the industry self-inspection program. They were not conducting their own inspections, which they historically have done for pretty much all of the 50 plus years that the Horse Protection Act has been in place. There were very few horses that were found in violation by the industry and inspectors, not surprisingly, and very few disqualified from showing. This was a very different outcome than last year's celebration, when dozens of horses were found in violation by USDA veterinarians and were disqualified. I also observed several horses that clearly had skin changes on their pasterns that appeared to be indicative of soring. The exhibitors had not even made an attempt to try to cover them up, which we know in the past they would do, sometimes successfully, because the scar rule would have prevented them from participating. And now the scar rule, at least for now, is not being enforced. So between the delayed implementation of the rule that USDA tried to put into place and the judge's preliminary injunction with potentially a final ruling that permanently bans USDA from enforcing these rules, our hopes for increased protections for horses that have been victimized by soring have not really been weaker for decades. It's a real setback. This underscores how urgent it is for Congress to pass the Prevent All Soring Tactics, or PAST Act, which would amend the Horse Protection Act to close these loopholes permanently and give USDA the full authority to do an effective job at enforcement. It would also eliminate the stacks and chains that USDA tried to eliminate with its 2024 rule, which the judge said exceeded its authority under the Act. The PAST Act currently has 201 co-sponsors in the House of Representatives, whereas it has not yet had a hearing. Debbie mentioned that last year it had over 240, and we're likely to see that many again this year by the end of the Congress, the 118th Congress, which ends in 2026. The bill has not yet been introduced in the U.S. Senate. Very few animal protection bills have made any progress in this Congress, but the need for the PAST Act has never been greater. So listeners, please contact your federal elected officials and strongly urge them to co-sponsor the bill and do all they can to get it passed into law. I know Debbie has posted links to the Action Alert page on the Humane World website, but if you can't find it or if you haven't seen it, you can go to the website humaneworld.org/no soring. That's NOSORING. And there you can send an email to your legislators and make a polite phone call to their offices. You know, our 2022 undercover investigation by then Humane Society of the United States at the training stable of a top winning Tennessee walking horse trainer named Jimmy McConnell demonstrated that every horse in his care was being chemically sored with mustard oil. Our investigator also witnessed several of them being injected with a powerful sedative, so powerful that they would not react in pain during the inspections that they had to undergo prior to showing. McConnell was serving a 3-year federal disqualification from showing when he recently passed away this year. However, his accomplices in the training barn, including his assistant trainer, Sam Martin, who were all involved in the soaring process and attempts to cover it up, are still actively involved in the training and showing of horses, and in fact won several ribbons at the recent celebration. So um, we had made great progress. We thought we were very close to bringing this all to an end. And unfortunately, the turns of events have been a setback for the horses and for USDA's enforcement efforts, which again is why the PAST Act is so critically important. And so I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and share all of this with you. I wish I had better news, but it's important that folks know about this because we can't let this backslide. We can't lose the progress that we've made. We've got to get this across the finish line. And as Debbie said, never give up. I've been working at this both as a volunteer animal advocate and then with the Humane Society of the United States, now Humane World for Animals, for over 25 years. And I'm not giving up, and we can't. So I would be really happy to answer any questions that folks have, if anything's unclear, or take any questions.
Okay. Does anybody have any comments or questions for Keith Dane? If you do, let me know. Just alert me in the lower right hand corner of your phone or iPad, tablet, a laptop. And there's a phone icon or either a mic icon to alert me you want to come on air and everything. Just try to refrain from any noises in the background. TV's, radios, conversations, you're more than welcome to come on board. And thank you all for keep liking the show and sharing it. It means so much. That's what I call teamwork. And a big shout out, reach out today, enter the live studio. And welcome aboard and hope the shows are inspiring to you, uplifting to take that action, okay? Because, these animals, they can't speak out for themselves. They can't make them calls. They can't write them emails or letters or in person. We have to do it for them, make better lives and futures. Animal rights should be granted, not violated. And when I've seen all these photos, this horse soaring, and it is so sad and heartbreaking, isn't it, Keith? It's animal cruelty front lines, and it's another profit before animals again. They're not thinking how the animals feel. It's what they want in their pockets, the cha-ching, and it's
Absolutely.
not right. And it keeps happening. So if anybody wants to speak to Keith, you're more than welcome. And usually, Keith, we go over the show. I used to have an hour long on Blog Talk, but we go over on this one because it gets, high energy, a lot of interesting stuff, and we don't want to give it up. So, go
That's
ahead
great.
and if Aloha or Mama Cat, you want to speak, or Darla? The more or Michelle. Hey, Michelle, welcome to the chat room. There's another animal warrior sister of mine, and they've got a great super team here, and we work great together there, Keith. And that's what it takes. Getting our voices out there, getting our actions, taking that action is the key. We can't just sit around and do nothing and look the other way like it's no big deal because it is a big deal. And
That's right.
these
Yeah, and
animals, yeah.
folks can share that link on their social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, whatever they're on. They can share that link and ask other people to take action too. We really need to get more of these co-sponsors up and more people across the country engaged. And groups like Humane World are doing their part. When I was at the celebration, we actually had a what's called geofencing, where you can target people in a specific geographic area, and we were targeting them toward our reward. We actually offer a reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of people who do this to their horses, and we were broadcasting it all over Shelbyville, Tennessee, so that maybe some of those grooms or assistant trainers or something that have a turn of heart might come forward and become whistleblowers. So like I said, Humane World is continuing the fight and leading the campaign to end this practice. And we so appreciate everyone's support in taking action.
Yeah, and that's what it takes. I mean, from all angles. I mean, every effort counts out there. On post it on your timeline or any social media you're on, X or Facebook, LinkedIn, and and then share it. It keeps resharing it because not everybody's on social media same times and days. And that news feed gets packed. So even I do a lot of tagging also, and I will keep on with that um, taking action there. And even on Humane World for Animals, they have other petitions on there. So check it out. I've signed a lot of those, Keith. I mean, I keep going. I get in that routine. Hey, I'm going to sign this one. Almost all of them. And if I do, I come back and sign more. Because Humane World for Animals, which used to be Humane Society of the United States, is huge. Even Humane Society International. And so the more of us, a huge organization like this, let's do it. We can rock this thing if we really want to, animal lovers out there, horse warriors and horse advocates, horse lovers. And if you love horses, hey, do it for them. Feel their pain, what they're going through, and take that action. Let's see this pass, okay? Because it's way long overdue. Would you say half of a century already that it's
Yeah.
been fighting for? And that is so, I don't know, that is so injustice for these horses because they don't have a voice. So look how long, year after year, decade after decade, all this stuff's been going on. So contact your representatives, contact your senators. If you feel more comfortable emailing them, hey, send them an email. You can find your state representative if you haven't done it before and just search it on the internet and then put your zip code in and it'll lead you right to there. Let your voices be heard. It's so very important. Or you can make an appointment with them, call them on the phone. There's so many ways you can help make changes in the comfort of your own home, your phone, your computer. Right there. It can't get no easier. Because if we do nothing, hey, nothing changes. And it's going to be another half a century going on. Okay? So it's up to us to make it happen and keep supporting Keith. He's on Facebook and he's posting. He's out there working hard to get this passed. I mean, strong leaders and strong supporters leads to strong victories, and then we could do the happy dance. I seen that was 248 co-sponsors from 2023 to 2024 and introduced into legislation. I was like, how many more do they need, to get that vote? I mean, how do we just say, hey, listen, put yourself in the animal's feet or hoofs, and see if you would like it, because they can't yell out, hey, I need some help, okay? So please take that action, everyone, because that's what matters out there. And get on there on your social media. The like button that don't serve no justice or love or mad or happy or whatever. When you sign something, share because then it goes viral, and then more signatures will come in, and it'll multiply. So when you press that share for the mama bear, right, Keith? That's what it takes.
You got it. Absolutely.
Be a super team player because that's what it takes. If you want to see the victories come in, be a big part of it. Put it on your timeline or wherever you're at on social media. Like I said, I have a tab full of names and animal organizations. Fans of animal rights has been supporting me for many years, sharing on there. They got over 300 and some thousand likes and everything, but that's not doesn't mean they're active, that doesn't mean they're pressing that share. I see too many that's pressing the like button more than the share, and that's an issue right there. You know, when it gets in the news feed, hey, it goes viral, and it gets stronger and stronger. So, yeah, you want to press that like? Yeah, go ahead, but that share means more, and I see it all the time. More likes than shares. I've seen them 300 likes and then like 20 shares. It's like, what is wrong with this picture, right? Because nobody is going to see. It's not going to get shared in the newsfeed once you press like. And on the other ones also, you know. And a big shout out to everybody that helps me to promote this show every Thursday. I get a lot of help, Keith, because I'm a one woman operation, so the only thing I really need help is help promoting it, on X and Facebook and LinkedIn, and I get it. And the huge this tablet I got with all the names where I tag them, it's huge, But I'm fast at this stuff, and I can get it done. So that's what it takes, everyone. Teamwork. And visit the horse thorn. I put that link on my website also, Keith. And after the show, after I get it downloaded and edited, that's when I'm gonna put the links in, okay? Because before Podbean doesn't on the temporary ones promos, they don't let you put the links in yet until after you edit it, and then I can put all the links in, take
Oh,
action and all that.
terrific. Yeah. Well, thank you
And
so
then,
much for doing that, Debbie.
hey,
You've got such a great
anytime.
following, and I know your folks are real animal warriors out there, and your show does so much to educate people and engage them and get them to take action. So I can't thank you enough for what you do and for having me on and helping to spread the word, because we can't give up, like you said.
That's right. We can't, and you're so truly welcome. I do my best, but I can't do it alone. I'm fast at it. I've been doing it for many, many years. So you see what I can do within an hour's time, and it's amazing. Okay, I go so fast, my head spins, and I was like, "Wow, I just did all that."
Yeah, you're a
Put
dynamo.
like four tabs up, bam, bam, copy paste. You should see this stuff. I become a real pro at it, and it took time. I wasn't like that at first, so but I cannot do it, alone. And these shows, thank you for the awesome and inspiring, uplifting compliment. Do my best. That's what this shows. These platforms is to educate everyone, to bring awareness, prevention, how they can help out, bring it to the spotlight. Let them know what's going on behind closed doors, behind the scenes. How much animal cruelty is going on, right?
Absolutely.
Edu- Education is the best key right there to let them know. Because a lot of people don't know. They get too busy, in their lifestyles, and they don't know what's going on behind closed. They think everything's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, yeah, they're with these horses. No, there's not. No, you got to look up behind and speak out for them and fight for them. Let their animal rights be granted, not violated. And anytime there is suffering or a lot of pain, that is animal cruelty or front lines, just like what they're getting treated.
Yeah. And these horses, this isn't a one time thing. They start doing this to these horses when they're about 18 months old, and they keep doing it to them throughout their careers until they retire or, unfortunately, sometimes die at an early age because of all the stress and pain that they go on. So, this is like a weekly thing throughout the horse's entire lives. And, I don't know if any of your listeners are horse people, but you know that when a horse has got its ears pinned back right against its head, that it's in pain or suffering. And
Right.
these horses go around the ring with their ears pinned the entire class, so you know that they're in constant pain. They're in pain during the training process in the training barn. They're in pain at the shows. Maybe they got through inspection because of the doping that they do, or sometimes they'll put these topical anesthetics like lidocaine or benzocaine on the pastern to temporarily numb it. There's all kinds of ways to get a sore horse through inspection. But then as soon as that wears off and that chain goes on and they go out in that ring and that chain starts hitting their leg again, they're in pain. It's just a lifetime of pain. And these horses don't know anything else. In fact, I visited a local horse rescue in Tennessee. They had gotten in a former big leg horse that was still on its stacks, had all kinds of scars. They took the horse down off the stacks and tried to let him be a horse, go out in a pasture and run around and eat grass. The horse wouldn't move. He stood right by the gate waiting to be brought back in because he had never known how to run like a horse. he didn't try to eat grass because he'd never been allowed to eat grass in his entire life, and he was 18 or 19 years old. It's just, it's torture, it's imprisonment, it's just lifelong cruelty, and that's why it's got to end.
That's right. It's not right for them. I mean, we know as humans we don't like to be in pain at all. We will go get an aspirin if we have a headache. Okay, and just look what they're going through with. And it doesn't make sense. It's like, come on, show some mercy. We need more compassion in this world. Passion for animals. They we need to to stop all this cruelty that's going on from every angle. I've been doing these shows since what? Had my 11th year anniversary in June, Keith, and I look at all what's going on, and a lot of this stuff is, it has been going on for so many years. And can you imagine all the animals that's been suffering and pain and agony all these years? And it needs to stop. It needs to stop and get more, like I said, compassion in this world, mercy, and look at them and not think of the greed that's going on. Profit before animals again. Keeps happening, and they're not even thinking how the animals feel, and they're forced. They have no choice in the matter. It's no kind of living for them. Why can't they leave the animals alone and let them live in peace and freedom? So that's what I can't believe it. I feel so sorry for them. It's like I want to step up and say, listen, everyone, why don't look at these animals, zoom in on them. Is that you, Aloha? You want to speak?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
what's in that background? Somebody's got something in the background.
Okay, well, I put my hold on. Hold on.
Okay, there you go. Are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, yeah, there you are. Yeah, there's some sounds picking up in the background.
I
Go ahead.
I
Thank.
have to fix my
Hey,
tech. I'll be right back.
yeah, there's echoing now. Okay, we'll bring her back on. We're having some audio problems on her side. I know it's on this side because that's where it started.
Oh,
But she'll get it fixed. Okay, you get there?
I'm here.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
can you
Happy
hear me?
happy belated birthday to you. Her birthday
Thank
was
you.
on September Monday, Labor Day. Many many more to you. Hope you and Harry had a great birthday.
Oh, we enjoyed it.
Yep. No, go
Yes.
ahead.
Yes, well, I want to end the also the horse races along with the horse soaring because they both are interconnected though. So, thank you so much, Keith. Just want to say thank you so much for bringing that bill though to Congress.
Well, it's my pleasure, and thank you for your help and support in getting it done. It's always, this bill has always had wide support, and it's not a partisan issue. It's not Democratic or Republican. We've got
Agreed.
co-sponsors on both sides of the aisle. No animal issue really is partisan. They're all bipartisan. But we've got a lead sponsor in the House who's a Republican, and several of his colleagues from that side of the aisle are co-sponsors. The bill has actually been passed in the House of Representatives twice, not in this or the last Congress, but in the 115th and 116th. So we know there are the votes there to get this across the finish line if we just get it to a vote. Um, those two Congresses, the bill didn't get a vote in the Senate, even though it had a majority of co-sponsors in the Senate. But the Senate has a rule called the filibuster, where
Hmm.
any one senator can just block a bill essentially from getting a vote. And if the leadership knows that that senator is going to do a filibuster, which means basically just talk and talk and talk until he's blue in the face, he or she is blue in the
Hmm.
face, then the leadership isn't going to bring a bill up for a vote. So having a majority of co-sponsors isn't always enough to get the bill to the floor for a vote. And I honestly don't know if we'll be able to do it this Congress. We're certainly going to darn sure give it our best shot, but we've got to maintain that co-sponsor count to show that the support is there year after year, Congress after Congress. It never goes away. And then when we get the opening, when we get the that window of
Hmm.
opportunity to get a vote, then we know we've got the votes to get it passed. And like I said, we can't give up. I'm never giving up, and this has got to happen.
Well, and that's why I like Debbie's show, because it transcends beyond political parties.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, others may disagree with me, but just thought I'd give my opinion on it, though, because not everyone's gonna, see the same way as me, But nevertheless, we're here for the animals.
That's
So
right.
yes, so thank you so much, Keith and Debbie, and that's all I have to say for now. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for calling in, okay?
Yes,
And
thank
many,
you.
many birthday wishes to you.
Much
Many, many
appreciated.
more, okay?
Yes,
And thanks for being a big part of Voices Carry for Animals.
glad to
You know,
support.
yes. And does anybody else want to speak to Keith while you're on here? And give him your support. And thanks to everyone for keep sharing the show, and liking it, because when it does that, it gets more listeners involved and more likes, and it moves up the Podbean podcast, moving up the ladder, okay? Where it's been heard a lot, and get the more voices out there. Even after it gets, after the show, it gets edited and published, it's going to 24 other podcast websites, everyone. So that's great news, too. Plus 2 YouTube channels, my Voices Carry for Animals, you know, .com, and it's going out there. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podserve.fm, Player.fm. This list is huge. So I've come a long way there, Keith, from Blog Talk. I wish I found this a long time ago.
Yeah, you
I think
sure
I
have.
was, I got comfortable with Blog Talk. Had that call-in number and everything. So maybe it was a plus they did close the doors. Because look what happened. A better one opened,
Yep,
right?
yep. Got to take advantage of that for sure.
That's right. Making voices heard worldwide, everyone, and that's the main thing. We got to get not only our voices, but take that action. That's the key. We could talk on these podcasts as much as we want to and everything, but if we don't take action, then we're spinning our wheels, because that's what this platform's for, to encourage other ones, educate, prevention, awareness, and knowing what's going on behind closed doors, behind the scenes of all this animal cruelty. That's totally unacceptable. There's zero excuse for animal abuse, period, or elder abuse, or children abuse. They can't speak for themselves. We have to do it for them. But if anybody else wants to talk to Keith, you're more than welcome to speak. And the ones listening from the web, thanks again for tuning in, listening. I hope you keep coming back and spreading the word about these shows. And if you want to come into the chat room with us on the Podbean podcast app and player, install free, and then follow Voices Carry for Animals podcast, and you're in, and you can enter the chat room. Okay, it's very simple. And then once, like every Thursday, all the followers will get a notification when this show is started up, and you just click to join, and you're right in here. You can't. This is awesome. And yeah, follow me. Thanks for following me, and on the web out there. Please follow me out there, because you can, from the web, Podbean, podcast, and app. So you can follow me both places, and join us every Thursday. Share the shows. Let your voice be heard. You're more than welcome to speak out on the show, because that's what we want. The bigger the audience, and the more voices for the animals, the better. The stronger we become. We are strength in numbers there, Mama Cat. That's what she always tells me. So don't never give up hope. Just keep it up. And visit the page and sign it. If you haven't already, I already signed it, but I'm going to keep sharing it and put it everywhere. Keith out on LinkedIn, um, X, and Facebook, and that way you get more attention and get more people to sign it, and make them calls, because that's so important. And things do not change overnight and come up and say, okay, this has changed. No, it takes time and effort, and we can't give up. And Keith hasn't gave up, and I'm not going to give up, right, Keith? I'm not going to give up. And you're always welcome back to this show,
Well,
always.
that's great. I appreciate it. And if there is any news to share, I'm sure there will be in the next several months or whatever. I'll let you know, and I'll be
Good.
glad to come back on and update everyone. I can't wait for the day when I can update everyone that this has been fixed once and for all. But we're a ways off.
Yeah, but hey, we'll do the happy dance one, and it's going to be well worth it. You know,
Absolutely.
we
Yep.
cannot back down, everyone. Once if you give up, you automatically lose, and we can't do that. We have to be win or quitters never win. Okay, I always say this a lot, and winners never quit. Period. Right there. That makes sense. So we can't give up on any of these bills. And just like I had a show several weeks ago on the Safe Act, there's another one that has been going on for many decades. You know, HR 1661, Keith, on that one, it has 156 co-sponsors right now, and needs a lot more. And then what was it last 2023 and 2024 had 100, I'm sorry, 239 co-sponsors. There was another one that died out, and so we have to, and I keep, I make up my own posts and GIFs and all that just to get attention to them, that, and it works. They're like, wow, I'm gonna check that out because it's an eye catcher, action alert, or take action, or call to action. And just like the another one I know you know about is the Wild Horse and Burro Protection Act, and that only has 14 co-sponsors right now. It needs a lot more, and it's HR 4356. Everyone, that's what with the helicopter roundups on the horses. So look at all these issues that we need massive attention on to get them passed. And I'll keep on having shows on that. So but keep it up, keep. That's what matters. And anybody, and my wonderful and beautiful mother inside now, she's tuning in this evening. Pat Dahmer, aka Moose. Hi, Moose. She doesn't look like a moose, Keith. We got another name for mom.
That's cute. I love it.
Yeah, on her birthday every year. She says she's 26, and it's we put "Happy Birthday, Moose 26" every year on the cake. I said, "Don't you get older or anything?" But that's great when you have a super team listening in and wanting to help out and spread the word. Because a lot of people are not aware of what's going on. That's why I had to ask, what's horse soaring,
Yeah.
and give an explanation of it. Chemicals on their feet, and I seen oh, I get sick and look, I get sick just looking at the photos of them, and they don't have no choice. They're forced to do this, and that's not right. They have no say so in the matter whatsoever. And that's why we got to be their voices and fight for the rights and say, hey, enough is enough. It needs to stop. We need more, like I said, compassion in this world, more animal lovers, okay? And to feel their pain and to see the situation that they're in and say, hey, this is not good. This is animal cruelty. Front lines. And then we'll do something. We have to do something because at this point we're not giving up. So if you want to stand strong with us, please join us and help us out because we are power in numbers. And all the millions of people out there, Keith, millions in America. And when
Yeah.
I look at it, I don't, with politics and everything on both sides of the house, in the House and the Senate, there's Democrat and Republicans, okay? So I don't allow no political stuff on my pages anywhere because I'm not going to sit there and argue with strangers behind a computer and get zero accomplishments, It's like, come over this way and help us out, okay? Because we have to be one voice, We're not, maybe red and blue states, but they're not red and blue people, right? I don't know. Are you red or blue? I don't know. White, blue, yellow, what? But when we work together, we get a lot farther, no matter who we are. Let's do what's right for the animals, for the humans, America. Not all this political discrimination because it's not right.
That's right.
We have to work together, and that's what it is. I've seen them. I mean, on some of this social media, I see them going off on each other. Okay, hey, you're drinking too much Kool Aid. I mean, name calling, bullying, everything on politics. It's like where are they getting anywhere doing that? It ain't gonna change each other's mind, right? Waste of time and energy
That's right. We have
fighting
to,
for what's right.
we have to come together for the things we all agree on, and animals are one thing everyone should agree on.
Yep. There's too much hate in this world, darkness. We need some light coming in. Be a positive light in such a dark world we're living in. We need more love out there, peace and tranquility and just comfort. Because you look out there and zoom in on it's crazy out there. This crazy place called Earth is only temporary for all of us. We got to make the best of it. So do what's right. And we're only one age, one time, and that big D word, death, is going to hit us all in good time. We're all here tempered, just like the animals,
That,
and they're here. They don't come back. Bring into the positive light. Be a positive impact, not a negative one, and not do nothing. We look the other way, and nothing's going to change. Changes don't happen on its own. We have to push for it and work together, and that's what it takes. Teamwork, strong teamwork. So
Debbie.
we have to. Yeah, go ahead. Is that the mama cat? How are you, mama cat?
Oh
Are you are you feeling better or not?
no,
I hope you are. No.
no. I
Well, you
went.
don't have to talk
I went
if you
to the
don't want
doc.
to.
I went to the doctor again today. So, um, I just wanted you to know that I'm here. I'm sharing as much as I can. I'm sick as a dog, but I celebrated the 40th anniversary of my 25th birthday this year.
Oh my goodness! I can't believe you. You should be resting. You
I
know
am
that.
resting.
Mama Cat is a hard cookie to crumble. There, Keith.
Hmm.
She is amazing. She has called in from the recovery room, from getting tests done, and she's amazing. She's a former guest and everything. I think you remember her.
Oh yeah,
And
we've
from
talked a
the
lot
ER,
over the
she,
years. Wow.
she called him from the ER. I mean, one time, what was it when you was in Florida? You called him from ICU. I go, I see you too. What are you doing? But I hope you do get better. You don't. If you're not feeling, you don't. I understand
My
because
doctor
Yes.
told me today that this is the worst case of shingles she has ever seen.
whoa,
Oh boy, that's
Yeah,
oh
horrible.
no,
oh my God.
Mm.
But, I'll get over it eventually.
I hope you're feeling better a lot sooner.
yep,
I, I finally
because there's
got
no.
some, I got some good pain pills today, so
Yeah, that'll help.
it
You
helps a
know.
little bit. There's nothing that gets rid of this pain. I mean, it numbs it enough where, well, I just don't care about it right now. So, but that's not the object of this show. I wanted to say thank you to Keith. Ouch. For all the hard work he's doing, and I can't believe that this stuff has taken so long. I mean, there's 3 or 4 bills in front of Congress all about horses. You'd think they'd realize, hey, maybe there's a problem with the horses. Maybe we should, do something. But It just keeps dragging on, and I don't understand it at all.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Well, the people
Why?
who oppose these are really in the minority. We are in the vast majority. In fact, in the walking horse world, there's only a few thousand people that are still involved in the big lick. There's a lot of humane people that have Tennessee walking horses out there who treat them well and care for them well and don't abuse them. But the vast majority of walking horse people and people in general are opposed to the soaring. And it just shows you how a small group of politically connected people can block advancements, but they are in the minority and they're not in the right. We're in the right.
It's all about
We know
money.
that. Yeah, exactly.
They're paying people off. It's sickening.
Yep, that's what's happening. But
Greed, greed, and more greed. Money,
Yeah.
money, money, money. Are you sick of it? I'm so sick of this profit before animals and profit before people and all this price gouging. It's all about me, 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 and not nothing else. And that's sickening. Narcissist.
It's crazy.
Yes, it is. And that's what it comes down to. They don't care. Look how many shows I've had, and you can do the roots of the problem to greed. You know, money's the issue. Making that profit, not
And a
care.
lot of these beautiful horses, when these people are done with them, they end up just like the other horses in the kill pens.
that's right.
Yep.
And it's ridiculous. These horses gave everything, everything to their owners, and then when they get done with them and they can't make any money off them, they dump them in kill pens, and it just I can't say the words that I'm thinking, but you
Yeah,
know what I mean.
I
yeah.
know what you mean.
There's
It's
a lot of rescues that come across these horses in the kill pens or at the auctions, and
Yep.
like I said, the one in Tennessee tries to rescue him and rehabilitate him, but unfortunately, that last one that I mentioned earlier was so far gone and in so much pain that they had to do the right thing and humanely euthanize the horse. But these horses, they are subjected to so much stress on their bodies, and through the pain that they endure, they don't live very long. They don't live as long as a normal horse,
Right.
just because of
And
all of the things they're subjected to.
these rescue places rescue those horses first, the ones that are in such bad shape, because they would rather put them down humanely than let them go to these kill pens.
Yeah, you go on a long truck trip to a auction
Yeah.
to a slaughterhouse. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I donate a lot to these rescues that go in there and rescue. And we pulled out 4 out of the last auction. So, I mean, that's not a lot, but it's 4. That's all we had the money to get out. Um, and it's just sad watching them horses get auctioned off, because you know where they're going.
that's right. Absolutely. And that's not a fun trip either. I mean, it's a horrible end to their lives as well. The trip to the slaughter plant and then the slaughter process itself. It's all cruelty. Again, just
Yeah.
for profit.
All right, I'm going to get off here for now, Deb. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, thank you, and I hope you feel better. Okay.
Yes, I hope so too. Feel better
Thank
soon. Take
you.
good care.
Yep. I'm telling you, she's a tough cookie to crumble. I believe she has 9 lives. That's why she has named Mama Cat. but keep me informed. I know you'll be in contact and everything. So hope
Okay,
you get
Deb. Love
better.
ya.
Love you too, okay? And
All
thanks for
right.
all your ongoing support, all of you. I mean, it's amazing. It's so uplifting, phenomenal, okay? And I just I just put a photo in there of a horse it's horse soaring, and it's so sad what they're going through, Keith. It's the pain and agony and the chemicals and the oh. It needs. We've got to get with the times. Is it really needed? No, right? If you think about it, why? They can't leave these animals live in peace and comfort and freedom. They want to, take control of them, and oh, it's terrible. And just to know a life that they did not choose, and then they're going to slaughter. Oh, that's so sad and heartbreaking. everyone, and that's coming right from my heart. That is so. I don't know. It's totally uncalled for, totally unacceptable. What's going on? These animals, all of them need better treatment. Let's give them better lives and futures. Because once they're dead, just like humans, we're out of here, okay? And a life that they didn't enjoy, and they were forced into something that they, and you could tell that they're not happy. I mean, it's terrible. It's disgusting. And the true saying is, human beings are the roots to all problems. You can't blame the animals, and that's so true. But thank God, there's all of us out there advocating for them and taking that action, teaming up, working together, because that's what's needed. We said, no, enough is enough. We can't keep doing this. Something needs to change. Mama Cat, strength in numbers. And just the power in numbers. So with our voices, the animals will be heard. With our actions, the animals will seek justice. Okay? And that's taking action. Not just looking the other way, sweeping it under the carpet, and not doing nothing. Because we have to. And with all the support, we got to strengthen up and get this passed. And then we could do the victory dance. And can you imagine? The horses is going to especially thank us because their lives and future is going to turn for the better. And we'll see it with I see it with the victors that's come through. When the animals' life change and for the better, and all lives matter, including all the animals. So we have to get better, animal rights. Let's get them stronger. They're not property. They're animal living beings. They breathe, they eat, they sleep, they walk, everything just like us. They just, speaking another language, you bond with them though. I think that's beautiful. With our pets at home, we can get close and you open your heart to them. And it's so beautiful and it's amazing. So, but anybody else want to speak to Keith? Any comments or questions? And please give me your support. So we have to, and I want to bring up, they feel pain too. Thanks, Darla. And emotions. They feel pain just like we do. And they get out there and they suffer like we do. They get sick like we do. Okay. And they have issues out there that we do. So thank you, Darla, because, that is so true. And then to, visit the, I I'm going to be posting on my page, especially tomorrow, Keith, about, the pictures of the horse soaring and where I'm at and other social media to get more attention and keep resharing, because every couple of days or so, because, once it's going through that news feed, thing gets slammed. So, and somebody might, a couple people might ignore it, but then you got maybe two, three more will pick it up and sign it. That's the thing. We do. We need more love and compassion in this world. Smile and positive light, energy, especially for the animals too, because they deserve it. All this animal cruelty, I mean, animal abuse and animal neglect are crimes, and they should be treated like crimes, right? Not just some get by with it, and some, and some of them will get arrested for it. When an animal is in pain and suffering, and possible death, that's animal cruelty. They're not getting their rights granted, so we got to keep it up. And I see, doing these shows, it's like, how can so many of them get by with what they're getting by with behind the scenes? How these animals get treated? Whether it's circus, zoos, I mean, you name it out there. Horse soaring. Look at that. The roundup and helicopters rounding up horses. That's animal cruelty. Taxpayers are paying for frontline animal cruelty, and it's not right. So please be their voices. Voices do carry for animals if there is enough of us. If not, we're only spinning our wheels. Okay. So please keep that in mind and help them. Don't ignore them. Okay, because that's what it takes. And Keith's out there, doing his thing, and he's been with them a very long time, and he's not giving up. And neither am I, and neither is a lot of people out there. So we do, don't give up. Whatever it takes. So, and thank you, Sandy, coming to the chat room, liking the show, and everybody keep liking the show. Help Voices Care from Animals podcast on Podbean podcast move up the ladder, get more attention, more followers, and more shares and all that, and see it climb up. I know it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight, but with all your help, hey, we can all do it together. That's right, Keith. Teamwork is the key.
That's it for sure. We're
We
a powerful
can.
movement when we all act together.
That's right. We are very powerful. People power. People power for animal power. We have to be their power, okay? Which gives them power to get the changes made. So just put that in mind. Educate yourself, learn, spread the word. We all spread the word, not just with this podcast, but on social media, alert people what's going on behind the scenes and see if they like it. And I've done that, and they go, "I can't believe that's happening." I said, "Yeah, it is. It's history is proof." So we either do something or we look the other way and watch it get worse. We have to do our best. And everyone on Congress.gov, are you hooked up with that there, Keith?
Oh yeah, for
Congress,
sure.
yeah, but when you get alerts on if there's more co-sponsors and you can get an account with them, which I do, and if you on a bill, just like the HR 1661 Safe Act, I get alerts. I got two more today for that, but it's got a ways to go yet. And I heard they have to have like 290 floor votes to get it in, get a vote. 290. Is that what you've heard?
Yep, 290 is the number by which the Congress can move forward with a bill for a vote, regardless of whether it's gone through the hearing process by any of the committees or anything else. So it's almost, and that's in fact how we got the bill to the floor, the PAST Act to the floor, both of the last two times. We had over 290 co-sponsors, and the votes were like 3-1, more than 3-1 in favor of it. So huge lopsided bipartisan victories on that bill. But again, didn't get a vote in the Senate, which means it didn't get passed into law. But that just shows you the power and the support that this has among Congress. So, but yeah, 290 is the number. It's really hard to get to that many, and we're in a pretty divided political climate right now, maybe more so than we have for quite a while. And some people just won't co-sponsor bills just because somebody else is the lead on it or somebody else co-sponsored it or whatever, whatever crazy reason they have. But I'm certain we will get to a majority of the House of Representatives. I don't know if we'll get to 290 in this Congress. But again, like I said before, we got to maintain the momentum, keep the support up. Don't let any of these members of Congress back away or slug off from their support going forward. That's another issue that we face constantly is every 2 years, the entire House of Representatives is up for election. A good number
I
of them,
seen that. Yes, every 2 years.
and a good
Whoa.
a good number of them either retire and don't come back, or they lose to whoever runs against them. So every Congress, you've got to educate maybe 100 or 150 out of the 435 members of the House, because they're freshmen. They've never heard of this issue before, and it takes a lot of time to explain it to them and to get them on board. And that's part of what Humane World and ASPCA and other groups out there do to bring along these new members of Congress and educate them about the issues. But it's not like we're dealing with the same 435 year after year after year. We lose a lot of them, and sometimes we lose good supporters of our animal issues, and then we got to start over finding new ones. So it's a constant, never-ending job.
It's a constant fight. That's right. I said every 2 years. That's something else. It's whoa. You would think it would be longer than that, but it's not. Every 2 years. What the reps right now is 2025, 2026, and then
That's right.
after 2026, you have either the same one or different ones if they get beat out.
Yeah.
So, but contact them, and here's a nationwide number, everyone. If you haven't already called it, and during business hours, you can ask to speak to your representative or senator. You probably won't get to them. I never do. I just talk to the legislative aide. Area code 202-224-3121, and then give your zip code, and it will lead you right to your representative or your senator. And after hours and weekends, you can leave a voicemail. Okay, I've done that before. Or you can email. If you have never done it before, find your representative, the House representative, and there again, you're going to put your zip code in, and you could either call them, you can send them an email, meet them in person. I mean, there's so many ways, and ask them, support. Get horse soaring. Go. I mean, they need to do something and explain to them in case they don't know what goes on behind the scenes, because that's possible, right? When you think about it, if there's a lot of people that don't, then what's the odds of some of them not know what horse soaring is? To even not think it's a big issue, because it is a big issue. So we have to stand together, everyone. We cannot give up. Super teamwork is the key. Strong supporters and I'm sorry, strong leaders and strong supporters equal to strong victories, and that's what our goal is. We're not here to see it to stay the same. Let's see. We've got goals to meet, and we can do it. Just don't give up. If you need a break, take a break. Come back and refresh and get stronger. I know that's with the bear hunt down here in Florida, Keith. It passed, okay, and Adam Zulowski, he was on the show, and he's taking a break, but he's not giving up. And beardefenders.org. And I said, hey, we're staying with you. Keep sharing it. Keep making them, call Governor Ron DeSantis and tell him to oppose that bear hunt. That's what it takes. Because you're allowed up to 6 dogs to go out and attack them and kill them. And that's a blood massacre, isn't it?
Yeah.
But my stomach was churning. I was like, no, the mama bear don't accept that. No, I'll be fighting till the end on that one too, on every angle. So, and then his whole team is one protest and everything. They're staying strong. They were let down, but they said, hey, I'm getting back up, knocked down. Yep. And Roma Cat, she just said we need to write to all those new members as soon as they are sworn in. That's true. Get a hold of them, because of 2026, we got some time yet. But with these ones, it's for 2025 and 2026. But after that, there's going to be some new ones, and hopefully this gets passed before then. Wouldn't that be some outstanding, great victory to hear that thing pass? I like to see them all pass. Get to know your members of Congress, because make your voice heard. You're important out there, your constituents. You can yourself start a new bill, be a creator or author of a new bill on animals. Just ask them where you're at in your state. Call the rep up and ask them for a constituent bill proposal form, and fill it out and give it with your rep and ask them to sponsor it. Goes in a draft. and then gets a bill number, and then all you need is co-sponsors. You know, we could all be creative in that field because you're a constituent of where you live, a resident. Make your voices heard. Every effort counts out there, everyone, because we cannot give up. Okay, these animals, we got to get them out of harm's way and let them live peacefully in comfort and freedom. That's what they all so well deserve. So many of them are getting abused and neglected, and these abusers, and they're abusers. They're getting by with it, and I don't see how, but they're getting by with it. And I can see the other abusers that there's a lot of them. They get a slap on the wrist. They don't deserve a slap on the wrist. Real men, real women, and real children love animals, and that's a fact. Thanks for all the animal lovers and animal advocates, animal rights activists out there tuning in. That's why I named it Animal Advocates Radio. Animal advocates coming together under one roof and letting their voice be heard. And I'm going to keep that name because Voices Carry for Animals podcast. It's all our voices coming together as one and getting it out there. One voice to get to positive changes. But anyway, Keith, do you have anything else you would like to tell the listeners out there? And thank you, all you new listeners out there, all the ones that are returning and the new ones. Keep coming back.
Yes, keep coming back, and please do take action and share this podcast broadly so more people can hear it and hear about what's going on. And just know we're never going to give up. We can't give up. These horses deserve to live lives free of pain and cruelty, and it's a very worthwhile cause, and I'm so grateful to everyone for being a part of it.
That's right, and thank you so much. So does anybody else have any comments or questions for Keith? And please give him your support, and especially on the horse soaring to end it. The horses deserve it to get away from it, get away from that pain and agony, just to perform and do. And you call that entertainment? See an animal suffer. No, I don't call it that at all. They're forced. They're not happy, and it's not the way to live their life. So. But anyway, Darla, thank you for all your great support, and thanks for the compliment. It's another great show. I love doing these podcasts. Keith, they're so inspiring to me. Being a positive impact. That's not the only thing I do. I get out there on social media and help out wherever I can. Share, share, share from the mama bear, because the mama bear does care. And we have to all work together, and keep pressing that share, everyone out there. Get in that news feed wherever you're at, whether you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, X, wherever, get the word out there. And tag. And a good thing about it, Keith, is with tagging on X and I get notifications. My shows are being shared all weekend long. Probably up till Monday. Isn't that great? Because they know they're archived. So once I get it published, they can always go back and listen to it right then and there, in the case they missed it. So that's a huge plus. So keep it up, and thank you all for all your support. Fans of animal rights out there on Facebook, they like a long time supporter of sharing my shows, and this list is huge. I would need like a couple hours just to read off names. But you know who you are, from X, the big animal page is there, to Facebook, my Voices Carry for Animals podcast on Facebook, Voices Carry for Animals support group on Facebook. Follow me on my, or send a friend request on my personal account, W Dahmer, Dahmer, or on X. I have a personal account on there, and Voices Carry for Animals podcast on there. a personal page on LinkedIn. And there's several groups and I admin on and or help moderate. Animal advocates call it Action Support Group. I got the Take Action for All Animals on Facebook, the Paul's Call Show, um, Voice for Animals. I'm a admin on that too. And I mean this. I'm everywhere there, Keith. I'm out there. I am rocking and rolling. Mama Bear is on a roll. But
Fantastic.
yeah. But you keep in touch with me, okay?
I
And
will.
let me know what's going on, and bring you on in 2026. How's that?
That sounds great. Be happy to.
And
Thanks so
hopefully we
much.
got just get some good news coming in. And we all got to try harder, everyone. We got to get stronger, and we got to get recruit some more animal advocates out there, animal warriors. And that's what it's going to take. Humane World for Animals. Check out their all their petitions on there. I went on there and I did a link for horse soaring when I was on their website, and it took me right there to horse soaring, and it had a list of information right there. So and they're on Facebook. They're up there a million likes there, Keith. That's a lot. So and also on X. They're all over the place, which used to be Humane Society of the United States. They're out there working hard. I've had Humane Society of the United States, which turned into Humane World for Animals, all so many times I lost count. Isn't that great? it,
It is.
it is all. It's wonderful. I just had Kate McFall on, the Florida director of down here in Florida of Humane World for Animals, many times. You know, and having you on it. There's a big list here, and we'll continue to. That's my goal. Because once you walk through Voices Carry for Animals, you're part of the family, and you're in, and we're all coming together as one. Teamwork. So. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this up, everyone. So if you have any comments or questions for Keith, you got just press the lower right hand corner. You have a phone icon or mic icon, and that will alert me, that you want to come on board. All right, and that way, we are working together as one. Okay, so just alert me, and like I said, all the shows are archived, so you can go back and listen and share 24/7. They're all very formative. All my wonderful, amazing, wonderful guests that have been on, that have been so supportive, and I keep bringing them back because the more exposure, the better. I don't just like having them on one time and then saying goodbye, because we got to keep in contact and see the victories coming in. But anyway, Keith, you have a wonderful and peaceful evening. Hope everyone had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. That's a 3-day weekend there. And next week, we're going to have Doll Stanley from In Defense of Animals on back with Sharon Stone. She's coming on with Sharon Stone, so have them both on together. I so hope you join us next week, Thursday, and it'll be September 11th at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Mountain, and 4 o'clock Pacific. And September 11th, it was a very sad day back in 2001, and we will never forget. We remember all the victims and prayers to go out to their family and friends. What a sad day, wasn't it? Oh my goodness! But welcome. I'm going to welcome Doll back, and also Sharon Stone. She came on as a caller as the last show, but she's going to come on with Doll Stanley. And so hope you join us. Keep spreading the word. Keep sharing these shows, liking the show. I need all your help is highly appreciated. Everyone out there. and I recognize it, and it inspires me to keep going and staying strong. Because I can't do it by myself. But anyway, thank you, Keith. Stay in contact, and we can't forget the dogs on 9/11 either that lost their lives and offered their services. That's a very sad day. 2001. It seems like all this time went by. Time flies, but we got to, never forget them because it was bad. I mean, it was nasty, so evil. What happened? So many people lost their lives and dogs, and it's horrifying. But anyway, Keith, thank you so much. Keep up the great work. You're a true inspiration to humans and animals. You know.
Thank you so much, Debbie. I really appreciate that, and so appreciate you and what you're doing, and perhaps you having me on the show. I look forward to next time.
Hey, you're always welcome back, okay? And can't wait to have you back. Looking forward to it, okay?
Likewise.
And once I get this published, I'll send you the new link. The other ones out there, I just have to update them, and they'll move over to your logo. And plus the links, so I'm going to put the links in there too, okay? And then after that, I'll send it out, and then it's going to go shooting everywhere out there, which is a plus.
Share it everywhere.
Oh yeah, it'll be flying out to every direction.
Sounds great. Thanks so much.
And you're so welcome, everyone. I want to thank all you listening from the Podbean podcast web out there. Thank you for listening in. I hope you keep coming back and spreading the word out there, sharing the shows, and also in the chat room. Thank you all for tuning in and always coming in there. And I love this. And Michelle, thank you so much. Hey, there's another animal warrior sister. But anyway, everyone have a wonderful evening and peaceful. And please take action, okay? Please take action. In order to see change, we got to take action. No questions asked. And Mama Cat, since you're not feeling well, I'll do the paw in hand, okay? Paw in hand, united we stand against all animal cruelty and neglect across the land. Thank you, everyone. Good night. And Mama Cat, I hope you're feeling better, okay? And thank you all. Like I said, thank you all for tuning in and keep spreading the word. Let's be the voices of the animals and let's see them carry on for better lives and futures. Good night, everyone. And thank you so much. Okay? That's what it takes. It takes all of us to come together and make that change. Because if we don't, then we are, we're going to not see any changes, and that's not right for the animals. Okay, so whatever it takes, to get it out there. Write those emails, sign those petitions, make those phone calls, 202-224-3121, and get it out there because that's what it takes, okay? And thanks again for everything. And I want to, and Keith, and you be safe out there, okay?
I will. Thank you so much, for sure.
Okay, good night, everyone.
Take care.
May God bless you all. Thanks for tuning in to Voices Cared for Animals podcast. Coming live from Podbean Podcast app every Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern. Thank you.